T20 series. It was a tough series, but one of the positives was their work between the wickets, and it's great to see that's continued on in the whites.
Yeah, not perfectly timed this occasion, but excellent running, as you mentioned, between the wickets. He's just been busy the whole innings. His first 50 came off 60 balls, and his second 50 came off just the 66 balls. So he's been very fluent throughout this innings. What can the Aussies do? Got to try and somehow find a way to break this partnership. Just the one slip, 2 gullies in place. Hoping for a false shot, really.
Saad Shafiq doesn't quite look as assured on that front foot just since the resumption of play, has he? Richardson asked the question a few times and found that outside edge, or the outside half of the bat, more often than not. He's fighting hard. That's the lovely stroke. Beautifully fielded. Travis Head, I think, there.
Yep, saved a certain boundary there. Travis Head. He got down early and really extended that arm. Beautiful straight drive once again. Look at the balance. Travis Head, brilliant work.
Partnership up to 170 now. And at points, gone a fraction deeper again. Reaches, but finds an inside edge. Well, was going to be an easy one. They thought about a second on the misfield, but over complete.
It'd be interesting to see what Babar Azam does here. He's brought up his century and played really well. I wonder if he'll think about maybe retiring, giving someone else a bit of a hit.
Well, something's they're running gloves out now. Might be putting the request in to the captain and the coach to find out. Maybe not. They're in form. Keep going. Pakistan 3 for 231. We'll change over now to Brad Hogg and Adam Peacock.
And yeah, it's as you were for Pakistan. Half an hour into this third session, day one, day nighter. Oh, and that was a little uppish, but finds the gap, as everything has for Shafiq of late, and that's well run down out there. I think it's Sean Abbott who's the only bowler not to have bowled in this third session. So Alex Carey is trying a few things. He started off with Travis Head and Richardson, and now it's Riley Meredith. And every over that he's had, it seems Riley Meredith, Brad Hogg, something has happened. There's been something about it, whether it be runs and plenty of them, or chances for his side.
Yeah, well, it's quite exciting. It's going to be great to see if he can continue his pace that he showed in his first couple of spells in this third session. It's interesting, the message from downstairs is the ball, the pink ball, was quite soft after the 20th over. So that's not a good sign for the pink ball going into the test matches. Hopefully they find the right box that will stay harder for a bit longer for the test match in Adelaide and the test match between New Zealand here in Perth.
So, put them on the roof. Dry them out up there during the day's play. Won't overnight. It's going to get cool here this evening. Oh, what a shot that is. Just smashed forward of square. Bubba Azam, he has certainly got his eye in.
Well, that's what happens when you spend time out in the middle. Yes, they got a barrage earlier on, both batsmen, and they were troubled with the short pitch delivery. As the innings has gone on, started to find a little comfort with the shorter ball. It'll be interesting when the new ball comes too. Hopefully Jai Richardson or Meredith will have a little bit of energy left for the harder ball, and then they can attack the Pakistan batsmen with the short stuff again if they wish.
Gone again. He didn't quite get this one. And Bancroft in there he's that good. He's almost a little part of him is disappointed that he didn't get something on that, even though it went past him really quick. Yeah, 15 overs till the second new ball. And what you're saying there about the softness of it, they'll be counting them down.
They definitely will be.
Just wondered if Pakistan surely adapting the conditions in the long form. They want to bat the day and then a little bit tomorrow. It won't be a declaration with half an hour to spare. Especially if Shafiq is on his way to a century and playing shots like that.
That is just brilliant. It's batting at its best. I think for Pakistan, they'll want their bowlers to get used to the conditions too, because it's just as important, because they've got to adjust to the extra bounce of these Australian conditions as well. But they also want their batsmen to have a second innings as well here.
And more runs, a couple. That's a mid-wicket. Yeah, so it's all going to come down to the way the toss went. Pakistan won the toss, elected to bat as we reach 3 for 245. Expensive over from Meredith, but it means that all the heat on this selection trial, if you like, around the batsmen for Australia in this top six, it's all on one dig.
It is, and that's just the pressure of cricket. And that's why when you do get your opportunities, you've got to try and make the most of them. So Bancroft was over there playing county cricket and was doing well. He got the first opportunity in the Ashes and didn't take it. And then Harris got his opportunity, and difficult for the openers over there, especially with the way the ball was moving. But you've got to get your technique right to be able to adapt to that. It's going to be interesting to see how Bancroft goes batting out six down the order probably.
There's Michael Neser, who's been really economical today, 1 for 38 into his 17th over. Yeah, so you've got Marcus Harris, Joe Burns, Usman Khawaja, Will Pukowski, Travis Head, Cam Bancroft. It's a bit like the Melbourne Cup last week. It's impossible to really define.
Well, the man on screen, I feel sorry for him, because he was only dropped in that last test match because they were worried about the bowling depth, because it was only a short turnaround with the test match. And he had to make way for Mitchell Marsh, the all-rounder.
Squared him up a little. Yeah, they did do that a lot through the Ashes, wasn't it? It was defined by the conditions and the matchups and the suitability to a certain player for those certain conditions. It was really refined in that way.
It was, and if Steve Smith didn't get knocked out in that particular test match, would have Labuschagne got the opportunity in front of Khawaja. So many things that happened over there. And quite interesting.
It's Joe Burns there. It's a very short mid-on. I mean, here's another guy. Look at Joe Burns. He's 16 tests at 40. Has done a hell of a lot wrong in his test match career.
No, exactly right. He's been burnt.
You're waiting all day for that, weren't you?
No, it wasn't. It just came up. Name's on the back of the shirt. If it wasn't for his name on the back of the shirt, that wouldn't have come.
There he is again.
He's hot. Good hands in there. I'd like to see him have another opportunity. And look, it was disappointing that they sent him home. He'd got over that illness that he had, and he felt that he was fully fit for that Ashes campaign. He's probably happy that he wasn't over there, actually, with the way that others performed, except for Steve Smith.
That new ball. I mean, Stuart Broad. It's a good leave from Babar Azam. He hasn't left a lot today. Why would you leave a lot when you're seeing them like he obviously is? But it's how big a factor is it on these wickets about the ability to leave the ball as opposed and trusting yourself to leave the ball as opposed to the part of the world in which they're from?
Yeah, well, where they're from, they kind of have to play a lot more because the ball's not bouncing over the stumps, whereas here you can adjust and leave a lot of balls that are going over the stumps, not just outside, but over that off-stump region. Especially when the ball's moving early on in the innings with both off the seam and in the air.
It's 3 for 245. It can't be an easy thing to just flick the switch on, though.
No, it's not. It takes a huge adjustment. I remember an opening batsman here in West Australia when I first started, Mark Lavender, leaving balls over the top of middle stump, just because he trusted the bounce.
And he grew up in it.
Yeah.
Beautiful night here in Perth. Warm day, 31 degrees, certainly not up there right now, but it's a perfect evening for cricket, especially if you're from Pakistan and you happen to have a piece of willow in your hand out in the middle right now. Shafiq and Azam just humming along.
Well, that's an interesting one with the fixturing. You've got Pakistan up in Brisbane, first test, and then Adelaide. And then you've got New Zealand coming over here to play in a test match here in Perth. So most of the viewers are going to be over on the East Coast, New Zealand and Eastern States for the New Zealand game. And for Pakistan, it's the right time here in Perth for Pakistan people to wake up and watch their heroes play here in Perth. Oh, don't you just love that? A quick bouncer and well evaded by Shafiq.
If you missed the earlier spell from Riley Meredith, he was changing his line a fair bit. He was coming over the wicket and then he'd go around the wicket for 3 balls and then in at the armpit, and at one stage he had 3 out around the square leg, fine leg region, and it was brutal stuff, but really well handled by both Shafiq and Azam, who at stages really wanted to take him on, but like there were a couple of shots there pulled out of because at the last minute they realised there was danger lurking in the deep. It's over the top, and that will get to the rope. A little difficult to pick up the pink ball at this hour around dusk, but another fabulous shot from Shafiq.
Well, that was decisive, that. No issue with the light. Riley Meredith does offer a lot of opportunity for batsmen to score runs. But in doing that, he also bowls wicket-taking deliveries as well.
Just wonder with a bowler like Wiley Meredith if they'll go down the path of what Mitch Johnson became, with short, really sharp spells, 4 over, 5 over spells max, in the long form of the game I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, you'd want that. But at the present moment, with the lineup that they've got 4 quicks. There's no one really that can contain an end down the other end, and that's what Nathan Lyon's so good at. He bowls a lot of overs where he contains, creates the pressure, and allows the quicks to operate from the other end where they can all bowl at short spells. And I guess if you look at the England team, they got Ben Stokes, who's primarily his prime reason for being in the team is batting, but he can bowl 140 deliveries. So he can come on and bowl a quick 5 over spell to give the main quartet a bit of a break. And we really don't have that luxury at the moment in Australia, with an all-rounder that's knocking the house down, that's holding his position with the bat.
Our bowlers were bowling 1 over spells to him at Headingley late in that day. Stokes, when he was going berserk. Oh, speaking of berserk, what a shot that is. What a shot that is from Shafiq. Back foot, rips it over mid-wicket for another boundary.
Well, that was just bruised through the mid-wicket region. But just hasn't got that pace now. Softer ball. Probably just lacking a little bit of energy in it. That spell where he was attacking with the short pitch bowling in that middle session, bowling continued short pitch bowling does wear the body out, because it's a huge effort to dig the ball in and really hurry up the batsman. So that could have just tired Meredith out, and just that lack of pace the Pakistan batsmen are really capitalising on. And just looking at Meredith out, deep fine leg, he's on his haunches. Just looks a little tired.
The 12 overs, 2 for 73. It's another experience for him. It's another thing to learn from an over like that, as opposed to a wicket maiden. Something to take into calculations and try and refine going forward. But he's been so good in the Shield this year, 14 wickets in his 3 matches so far.
But I think if you look at the best fast bowlers, they know when to amp it up, but they can bowl within themselves, and they've got that variety to be able to move the ball, to still travel the batsman, to keep that energy. And when they get the breakthrough, then they can really attack the new batsman with that extra pace. And that's what Dale Steyn was so good at, especially later on in his career, because he knew that to have his body in check for the longevity of a longer career, he had to pull back with that extra pace at times to avoid that pressure on his body, which could have caused injury and shortened his career. So you've got to be thinking of that. How long can you play the game? How long do you want to play the game? Can I maintain that pace day in, day out for a whole career? And sometimes you just have to pull back on certain spells to make sure you don't put your body in jeopardy.
Yeah, well, both Meredith and Richardson still just 23 years of age. Almost finds the gap, but well handled by Travis Head, who's done his fair amount of bowling today as well with his 9 overs. But, Hoggy, they're on target here for a record, these two on Australian soil, for Pakistan 4th wicket partnership on Australian soil. Record at the moment is 195, but between Zahir Abbas and Haroon Rashid at the Adelaide Oval in 40 years ago.
4 years ago.
40.
40.
40.
Yeah,
40.
40 years ago.
Mm.
Would have Pakistan and Bangladesh been one country back then? Is that just after 1971? It is.
Geopolitically, I'm not quite across that fact, but it's easily checkable.
Easily checkable. 40 years. Yes. No, Pakistan would have been their own country then.
Bangladesh.
And Bangladesh would have been their own country as well. Yeah, they would have been split then.
End of the over, it's 3 for 253. Shafiq closing in on a century, 86, and Abar's arm on 108. He got off to a lightning quick start. At one stage, he was 38 off 34 deliveries. He's not exactly pumped the brakes on everything. He still played some expansive cricket, but he's 108 off 142 deliveries. If they have a little drink, drinks can't be too far away, so they're having a drink before drinks. An aperitif.
Well, it's quite hard batting. Running between the wickets, and you've got to keep your fluids up.
Make sure the hair's okay as well. Ultra important.
Remember that movie that Brett Lee did?
I haven't seen it.
Victory. But remember that back in 2008, I think it was?
I've heard of it, yeah. I think I saw the trailer.
Well, the main actor was wearing the helmet in these scenes. Every take, so ball's bowled, every take, helmet off, hairspray, makeup, every ball. So a six ball over went for about 40 minutes. Ridiculous. He had to get his hair done under the helmet.
Sean Abbott into the attack.
You know, you got that little hole, that little air vent in the helmet.
Yeah.
If the hair was poking through there, they had to push it back through.
Oh, dear.
Couldn't have anything out of place. That was that was a real good movie.
How did you get involved in that?
Well, Brett.
Yeah.
They need someone to bowl. So I just bowled a couple of overs. But funny thing is, you watch it. Stuart Clark is bowling a delivery in the movie. And there's Stuart Clark with a hat on our deep man picking the ball up and throwing it back to the keeper. So it was great editing from the producers. But then when the movie comes out and they've got the trailer and they've got all the photos of the movie sitting there, and the movie's come out, Hoggy. All right, we'll get on there, click on it. And the very first photo is me with the producers, and this is taken about 4 o'clock at night. I've got bloodshot eyes, and there's this massive moth on my cheek. How would you let that in on the trailer?
So it worked away off the pads by his arm. Speaking of trailers, how was your trailer on set? Did you have a big trailer or a lavish kind of setup?
We had the change rooms at Jaipur when we went over there, and the change rooms at the SCG.
Excellent.
But I've been over and done some talks to people over in India and kids and university students.
About the movie or about cricket?
Oh, no, just about cricket in general. And anyway, has anyone seen the movie Victory? What was it like? Oh, rubbish.
Bit of bounce there.
It had a really good storyline, but once the hero started swinging on the chandeliers in a nightclub, you knew that it was going downhill from that moment.
Is Brett Lee still that popular over there? It's popular to say Adam Gilchrist.
Well, they love Brett singing. Look, full credit to Brett Lee going out there and singing those songs. He's got a market over there. They love it.
I just want to know when 6 and out are going to reform.
Well, Brett split that up when he went out on his own, didn't he?
Left him behind. Left him for dead. Not fair.
6 and out, you can't have them. They can't. They're all too busy now. All gone their separate ways. Wasn't Shane in that? Or Robinson? Gavin Robinson? Bergeron?
Yep, Gav he's had a bit of an illness, but he's fighting along.
Brad McNamara?
Yep, he's running the show here at Fox Cricket, so don't think he can asked the powers that be for a couple of days off to play a few gigs.
He was a very good guitarist.
End of the over, 3 for 256. And Richard Cheekwee.
Oh, Cheeks. Richard Cheekwee. I think he's one of few batsmen that have got out in the same session of a Shield game. Out the Wacker. Or was it the same day? Against WA.
One of those horrible quick pitches that you would have just ripped through the opposition on. Travis Head's coming back into the attack here. As you can see, dusk is falling over Perth. Night is just around the corner.
Well, Travis, every ball he's bowled has come around the wicket. And if you look at Nathan Lyon last year against India, he was bowling over the wicket outside off stump. And he was making the Indians play for the spin. And he was creating those opportunities with the outside edge, whereas Travis Head is just coming around the wicket and trying to negate any opportunity to score through the offside. There's only 3 fielders on the offside: a deep point, a cover, and a mid-off.
And a reverse sweep finds its way through Alex Carey. And there was a little bit on it as well. And that's the reaction from Alex Carey, because he knew it was a half chance. It was we haven't seen a shot like that all day from Shafiq. And yeah, there was plenty on it, in fact.
Well, looking at that as a spinner, I'm quite happy with the way that he played it. He wasn't in control. His head was outside the line. It looked as though it's a shot that he's not comfortable playing. But straight away, what he's done, he's taken a risk and created a field change with the first slip coming from the leg side.
And it's blazed away through cover for a couple.
So the first slip's come into from the leg side, and it's just opened up a few more gaps on the leg side. So he's got more scoring options now.
These fielders in the deep aren't in the extreme deep on the onside. They're at least 20 metres in from the rope, but they're long boundaries. They're still 50 metres from the bat, just about, but it's a long way over them.
And those boundaries on the leg side.
On the leg side,
yes,
and yeah.
Thinking on the right of screen for the viewer, I think that's about 90 metres.
Long way.
It'd be a good kick and 3/4 to get the goal.
Just wonder if he's going to, if he gets one in the slot, if he's tempted to just try and whack it over their heads. He easily deals with that one down the ground and gets his way to 96. So potentially just one shot away from a century to match Babar Azam. It's 3 for 265. 9 balls from the 9 overs, I should say, from the new ball, and they've brought up a 200 partnership, a 205-run partnership now for these two. And it's hard going for the Australian bowlers.
Well, it's been a good batting display. They were under pressure in that middle session with a barrage of short pitch bowling. In some moments it looked ugly the way that they tried to counteract it, but they survived. They found a way to survive, and now they're capitalising on it.
Sean Abbott continuing. He's none for 56 off his 13. His Shield campaign so far with the ball, he's been really impressive. He's picked up wickets and scored important runs at critical times for his team. Up at the Gabba, he took 4 wickets for the match and another 4 against Tasmania. Didn't play against South Australia. Involved in the T20s by that stage.
So we came in for AJ Ty. T20s.
chance. He went diving away. He's good in the field. You've been talking about his fielding prowess through the day. He can throw himself about, and that would have been spectacular.
That's just a sign that the ball is soft. The way that Shafiq was playing that uppishly. Two batsmen getting hundreds on tour. They'd be very happy with that, Pakistan. It's only been a one-man show in the batting department. Babar Azam in the T20s. Well, the good thing is they've got another game out the Wacker after this, a two-day game where they can all have another innings out in the middle. The good thing about this warm-up game, Australia have got put out a very good bowling attack, so the Pakistan batsmen can be challenged.
I reckon they were thinking that down the boundary amongst the Pakistan crew at 3 for 60 earlier, and the ball was moving early doors. Nisa was getting a bit of work off the pitch, and Richardson was very impressive in his opening spells.
Abbott at certain stages was getting a little bit of seam movement as well when he came on, first change. Been very impressive, Abbott, today. Well, Meredith, he's got 2 wickets and he's gone out 6 and over. Abbott 4 and over.
And Shafiq gets his way
in that part of the world.
Live on 10 Sports.
The lights ablaze at Perth Stadium for this tour match. Pakistan beautifully placed. He batted first, lost 3 wickets in the first session. As Ali was out first, and Shan Masood and Haris Sahal soon after. But the partnership, 206 runs between Asad Shafiq and Baba Azam. The bowling, Michael Neser opened well. Jai Richardson probing early. Abbott has toiled manfully. Riley Meredith, he gave them a hurry-up in that first session with 2 wickets, and Travis Head, none for 48 off 10. But the story of the day really is this partnership between Azam and Shafiq. It continues on. 72 overs gone. So 8 overs from the new ball. Travis Head operating Justin Langer stand end. And Brad Hogg, you've watched the day's play. The wicket has played beautifully, hasn't it? It was a lively one in the test match here between India and Australia, but after a little bit of swing and sideways movement earlier on in the day, it's just played wonderfully well.
Well, it hasn't had the bounce and pace of that Indian wicket that we saw a couple of, or last year, and even in the Big Bash and the T20 this year. The T20 wicket was a lot quicker and a lot more carry, but I'm not sure whether it's the wicket or the ball, because the rumour was that the ball was relatively soft after the 20th over, so that's not a good sign for the tests coming up. So they've got to find a batch of balls that are going to last the distance and keep that hardness, so that you don't lose that bounce and carry on these type of pitches. I think I'd just like to see Travis Head. He came over the wicket last over for a couple of balls, but now he's gone back around the wicket. I just think the first slip is redundant there with the line that he's bowling. He's attacking that leg stump line. If he comes over the wicket and tries to create the opportunity for the Pakistan batsman to play through the covers, he's bringing the outside edge into play with the one that doesn't turn. I think Pakistan will be very impressed that these two have, well, they will be impressed that these two have spent time out in the middle. They've got through a barrage of short pitch bowling in that middle session, so they've been able to handle that, so that will give them confidence going up to Queensland for the first test.
Abbott continues. Punch for a single, so that'll bring Shafiq on strike. He's moved to 99. He's been slightly more patient of the two in this partnership.
I can't see Haris Sahal in their first test lineup. Just the way that he's played in the T20s against the pace, the way that he looked today, he looked vulnerable. He looked a little bit unsure with that extra pace. He was playing away from the body.
The man on 99 points come up into the circle in a run-saving position. 1 slip, 2 gullies.
So Haris Sahal is a big question mark for me for Pakistan.
Yeah, Iftikhar Ahmed, he did play a particularly good innings in Canberra in the T20, so he's been down waiting to bat in this mammoth partnership.
I think they just could have given Abid Ali a go. Very good player on the back foot.
Oh, we thought about it. Would have been a suicidal run. Not so much for him, but his batting partner would have been dealt a nasty blow. A sharp call from Baba Azam at the non-striker's end. We saw a young chap in the under-13 rep game yesterday get run out on 99. It was a shocking thing at that age, I would have thought, but he walked off with a smile on his face, and I think his attitude was, well, I'd rather 99 than a duck. And he bring up the 100. This ball
Can't believe that he was looking for that run ball before. He's like a frog in a sock at the moment. He wants to get that one.
Never seen a frog in a sock, but
Well, you wouldn't
I believe
see a
they
frog.
jump around a fair bit, don't they?
Yeah, well, you wouldn't see the frog in the sock because he's covered by the sock.
A little bit of pressure, slight pressure built up here by Abbott. It's a nice lead. He's in no hurry here. So Shafiq came in at the fall of the second wicket. The score was on 47. He was very patient early. He turned the strike over well with dropping of the ball at his feet and pinching a few quick singles.
Problem is, he's looking at the scoreboard, seeing that he's on 99 all the time. That's adding a little bit of nervousness to him.
Faced 196 deliveries. Well bowled, Sean Abbott. Giving nothing away easily here, Australia A. Pakistan, after 74 overs, 3 for 271.
I can't believe that he didn't play a rash shot. I can't believe that he didn't use the Pakistan wrists and work that through mid-wicket, that final ball for one. I was a little bit worried about him when he tried to run Babar Azam out there on the third ball, but he got his composure back.
He scored 22 first-class hundreds, so I suppose when you've got that many, you're not too desperate.
But has he scored one in Australia?
That's a good question.
He has. He's up in Queensland, I think.
Of course.
In a test.
Oh, it's nearly been taken out by Babar Azam there at the non-strikers end. So Shafiq. Powerful display down the ground. Use of the feet.
Well, Babar Azam's just giving a bit of Shafiq some of his own medicine. Keeping him on his toes. Actually, I think Shafiq would be one of the hardest batsmen to bat with in this Pakistan team. He's taken some close shaves with just bunting the ball on a few quick runs through this innings.
And here he is again, 99. He goes big. He gets it over, does he? Chasing back as Bird, but it plugs in the field. And well played. Probably the most rash, risky shot he's played all innings, but he brings up a century to open this tour. Well supported by the Pakistan team down on the bench there. All right, Hoggy. He scored a terrific 100 up at the Gabba in the last series that they were out here. So his confidence going up to Brisbane next week on the back of this 100 will be in a very, very good place.
It's quite interesting that he didn't time that. It was a mistimed shot. And straight away they put the mid-on back out on the fence. Just think seeing that shot, and with the softer ball, they're not really timing the ball as well as they would like, or Shafiq isn't. Just bring him up, tempt him to do it again.
About as reckless and wayward as he's been, other than maybe a little period against the short ball. But Sean Abbott tied him up in the previous over. He was having none of that once he got the chance against Travis Head. It's been very, very well played. Terrific innings.
It's a bit of a relief too, playing with the pink ball, getting runs with the pink ball as well, because they are new match conditions as well.
Some of your yoga moves down there, Hoggy.
Yoga?
little bit of stretching there and
Yoga?
Pilates. And
Me doing yoga?
what else do you do?
Yoga?
What a spiritual person, aren't you?
Spiritual. Give me 5 minutes of that and no. You were doing the yoga when we first did that with Wacker 20 years ago with Wayne Clark.
West Australian squad, yeah, kept falling asleep, unfortunately.
I think it was the third session. The instructor was up on her stage, and I think I got 15 minutes in there. Look, I need to talk. I can't be quiet anymore.
Yeah, sitting still is not a strength of yours, is it?
No. Then we had to do that 10 minutes where we laid with the lights off out the end.
Yep.
That saying, I've had enough, I've gone. 2 minutes into it. Tell you what is yoga for me, surfing.
All right.
That's very spiritual. Yeah. If you talk about yoga being spiritual.
Something you've recently taken up, or have you always? I didn't know that you were.
I've always wanted to do it, but
I've always wanted to, but
I've sort of bits and pieces, but now I've taken it a lot more seriously now, so I'm trying to do it at least 2 times a week. Ned Kelly.
a neighbour of mine, Hobby, that chap there.
Really?
Yeah. Where's he that? Loves his cricket, Mark. Oh, it was uppish in the shortish cover point region there. Joe Burns, it just bounced before him, I think, on that fifth cricket pitch over there on the block. Yeah, it looks like it almost just held in the wicket a fraction. It'd be interesting to see here the approach from Pakistan. It's just 4 overs away from the second new ball. 14 overs after this, says Mark and the girls. And there's Zeke on the right. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what approach they take. I just wonder whether there'd be any benefit in. We spoke about teams using it as a tactic in pursuing a win, of declaring now at this time of the night and expose the opposition opening batsman to a brand new ball under the lights. But I wonder, should a wicket fall, would it be a tough ask for a new batsman to come in? Would they be better served declaring? They're pumping out the exercises there, the reserve players of the Pakistan team. Well, this could be tight. Good work from Abbott. Oh, I think a direct hit. And that might have been the end of this marathon partnership.
Shafiq's doing his best to run his teammate out, but that's just great athleticism from Abbott.
Tight call.
See, we've seen him have a couple of run-outs in such situations in the Big Bash.
Yeah, he's
brilliant.
Extremely athletic.
But with that, with the new ball coming around, I think you've got to keep batting and expose these batsmen with a new ball and just adjust to those conditions out night where it swings. Right, I've got to adapt quickly. So for me, I'd keep batting. And the new batsman coming in, you've got to give him a hit as well. Iftikhar.
Well, great work, Burns. Late in the evening, he spent quite a few hours out in the field, and he's up to the challenge. 3 for 281. Well, the vision of the Pakistan bench down there, we didn't see too many with the pads on. So a lot of exercises, a lot of fitness work and stretching. Yunus in the middle there.
Imam al-Haq just laying down there.
Not doing too much strenuous work, is he? The hat on there, just looking up at themselves on the big scoreboard here at Perth Stadium. Travis Head continues. Oh, there's an appeal. Travis Head likes it. Charged down the wicket, did Shafiq. It's like he lost his footing or slipped a little bit.
No, it was just beautiful bowling from Travis Head. He dropped it a little shorter. Saw Shafiq coming down the wicket, but also got a little bit of turn as well. Good bowling by Travis Head.
With the ball under lights. Perfect stroke, cover drive, cover his arm. Really commanding this innings now, moves into the 90s.
Yeah, it was a beautiful shot. He knew Travis Head's not going to get a lot of turn, so he could play with confidence through the offside, even though he's playing against the spin. The timing and the placement were just perfect. But you're right, we've seen in Sheffield Shield matches, the day-night games, we've seen teams use it as a strategy to declare at night time, so they get a brand new pink ball under lights in the dark, where it has traditionally really swung and seamed a lot. So it'd be interesting to see if Pakistan decide to use that as a tactic tonight.
There was that last ball of the previous over. Richardson now continuing.
I guess there's the balance in a tour match of also getting your players that you want to have a good hit in the middle as well. So you expect Rizwan to want to have some time out in the middle.
Iftikhar Ahmed played well in the Canberra T20 International against Australia. He picked up 60, so he'll be keen after he's just played the one test match, so he'll be keen to claim a spot in that first test team. He's down in the list to come in next. But, right, Mohammad Rizwan, he would look like a bit of an excitement machine in the T20s.
He was busy.
Yeah. Cameron Bancroft there out at cover. He's obviously got the short leg padding on under the pants there. Did a terrific job under the helmet. He's taken a few on the body already today. Came into the team at late notice. Nick Maddinson just withdrawing a couple of days prior.
I haven't seen too many better than Cameron Bancroft under the helmet there. Yep. And he's one of the few that seem to love the job as well.
Call one day just across the Swan River from here at the Wacker, where you were in there in one particular Sheffield Shield game. Past where you weren't exactly enjoying it. Brad Oldroyd.
I remember Brad Oldroyd bowled a couple of short ones in a row that hit me right in the middle of the back. Well, not from him bowling, but the batsman going back and full-blooded pull shots right into the middle of the back, 2 in a row.
Was that against Pakistan in a tour match? If memory serves me correctly.
I think you might be right.
Whoever it was against, 2 in a row. It was courageous stuff after the first one for you to decide to stay in there.
I was looking at the captain saying, do you really need me in here, sir?
Not a lot of sympathy from big Tom Moody, was there?
Tell you who was also bad. When you're fielding in close there and Kevin Peterson starts sweeping hard at the spinners. Oh, some hairy moments there too. 3 for 210.
150 run partnership now, so the milestones keep being ticked off by this pair. First session that looked like it really could have gone either way. The ball was flying around, nipping around, swinging. There was some fantastic stroke play, but some play and misses as well. 3 wickets down, 3 for 95. I think it was the the tea break, the first break score, but since then it's been one-way traffic as far as the scoreboard's concerned.
Good work there from Sean Abbott. He's such a good athlete in the field, Sean Abbott. He's quick. He's got a rocket arm as well. He's one of the best outfielders going around. Another reason why I'm surprised they used Travis Head straight after the break is because there's still 20 overs to go to the second new ball. So it's not like they're just trying to give a rest to the fast bowlers in the lead up to the new ball.
Get back for a couple. Nice. Good work there from Nisa. Yeah, I'll just hope that Riley Meredith hasn't picked up a niggle or something. He's out on the field at the moment, so you would think if it's an injury issue, he'd be off being treated. The movement here from Bancroft, just slides as soon as he sees the batsman advance. Short leg, just wow, that's another stroke of a class player. Over his arm. There's the 94, and he's not finding any threat from Travis Head's off spin.
Over pitched again from Travis Head, brilliantly put away. You just see, he just kept the front foot out of the way a little bit so he could just get the arms free and place the ball through the offside. There's a lot of fielders deep on the leg side, so if he's to pick up a boundary, this is the region where he'll be looking. Great execution of the cover drive once again.
Just kicked a bit off the length. Just up higher on the bat than Shafiq was expecting.
He has been a little bit deeper there, Sean Abbott. I wonder if he was in the conventional point, it might have just carried to him.
Yeah, definitely.
He has come in now a few paces. One of the few false shots we've seen from Shafiq in some period. Just wonder if maybe the lights are taking effect.
And again, the gap this time, but good work from Abbott. So Richardson remains without reward. Those probing deliveries, just challenging that off stump. And really, if we're going to see anything untoward, you would think it would be through this little period. It really is the twilight zone, as we used to refer to it in one-day cricket, white ball cricket, when the lights were just starting to take effect. It's become a habit of day-night test cricket through this challenging period.
It's good bowling again there from Richardson. He's definitely just getting something happening here. There seems to be a little bit more movement for him. A couple of false shots this over. That's what they'll be saying out there. Come on, let's bring a new batsman in. Won't be easy to start out here in this light. Richardson bowling well. If they can just pick up one now, they'll believe they can get two or three quickly.
Pretty good in the field, the Australian A team. It's an athletic bunch, even the fast bowlers in this day and age. As you mentioned before about Sean Abbott, they're all outstanding athletes and ground fielders. Marcus Harris put down one he would have taken more often than not at first slip early in the day, third slip, sorry, but other than that, they've been on their game.
Certainly been lots of runs scored today, Gilly.
Yeah.
Been a bit of a run feast. Sheffield Shield cricket has been played as well. South Australia rattled up 1 for 359. New South Wales, a bit of a slow slog for them. 2 for 221. Pakistan, 3 for 217 here at the moment. So all up, 6 for 797 in the day so far. And that might be 4 more. Slightly uppishly played, but it'll just have enough on it to reach the rope ahead of Travis Head. So another boundary to finish the over. Pakistan 3 for 217. 21, in fact. It's just
ticked over.
3 for 221.
Slightly on the up there, but had the confidence to just punch through it. Checked his shot to a certain extent. Shafiq moves to 68. It's an impressive scoreboard there for Pakistan. Good signs early in the first-class component of this tour. Michael Neser will come on at the Justin Langer stand end. The end where he opened the bowling this morning and was very impressive. .133 off his 14 overs. He's bowling to a man that's well and truly set and looking very comfortable. Babar Azam on 94. And it's in that area there. He's been as impressive as anywhere around the ground. We know that he can, like a lot of the top players, anything short and wide would be dispatched with back foot drives and square cuts, long half volleys through covers when they're vacant region there, when the fielder's not there. But it's anything pitched up on or just outside the stumps where he's really pushed down the ground impressively. On drive in particular off Richardson just prior to the break.
Yeah, I think all the Pakistan batsmen have shown that they've got very good techniques. All been quite solid in defence. Played some beautiful attacking shots around the ground as well. But bodes well for what hopefully will be an excellent test series with Australia, who I think should start favourites in the series against Pakistan.
Still 2 back for the hook shot. And the second of those men, Harris, will just keep that to a single. Thought he was in the game there, Michael Neser, with that one straight. Baba turned to the leg well.
Well, that's how he picked up the first wicket, Azhar Ali. Azhar Ali just shuffling across the crease and looking to play the ball to leg. He was trapped in front. And even there, that was quite straight. If he had missed that, I'd say it would have been very adjacent to the stumps. But he's in great touch.
Done some damage here.
This was hit very hard indeed. It was a chance, but you can't really call it much of a chance. And that does hurt. Yeah, they either stick or they don't. So it's less than a 50% chance, I would have thought. Maybe it would have been better to try and flick it onto the stumps, because Babar Azam at the other end was out of his crease or desperately trying to get back. You're right, Gilly. He might be in a bit of trouble here.
One slip and a couple of gullies. Ooh, the inside edge. He looks keen to force it at the moment, Shafiq. He's been very patient up to this point. His batting partner, Babar Azam, on 95. This is his 55th first-class game. I know yourself and Adam Peacock spoke about conversions and 11 Test 50s and only the 1 Test century for Bubba Azam, and only 3 first-class 50s, 100s in his first-class career. So he'll be keen to get that extra 5 runs. That's the over complete. 3 for 222.
Yeah, you're right, and it's a learned art, I guess, being able to go on and turn those good starts or half centuries into triple-figured scores. It's Michael Messer still looking at that finger there. It looks like he's giving him a bit of grief. Let's hope there's no damage there.
Looks like sort of the ring finger there on his bowling hand too. See the team physio or doctor going around the boundary line, making his way down to where Michael Neser is on the fence. But here we go. This will be interesting now. He bowled an outstanding couple of spells. Riley Meredith, spell of 5 over, spell of 4, but he's back now. He's got 2 back. He's got a short leg in. Deep point. Goes full and he's punished. Straight down the ground. He's such a wonderful watcher of the cricket ball is Bubba Azam. He really focuses on right on to the point of impact.
It was a bit of a loosener from Riley Meredith. Long half volley and easily dispatched down the ground from Bubba. You spoke about it earlier, Gilly. Just the great balance and the ability to hit straight down the ground with ease, really.
The field deep point comes up. Still 2 back on the leg side. Bubba Azam on 99. Scored 99 against Australia in Abu Dhabi. And, the last time these teams, or the Australian Test team and Pakistan clashed in Test cricket.
Mitch Marsh got him. The LBW, which he reviewed, and
oh, that's a terrific bit of bowling.
yeah, that's good.